Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If we've never met before, my name is Chelsea and I make new videos weekly on fashion, beauty, and travel. Subscribe down below for 2 videos a week. Surprise! I got a breast reduction. And if you've been following me on Instagram, be sure to follow me down below. I'm at Chelsea Pearl. I have been documenting this process over the past year or so. The whole reason I'm even here right now is because of others who have shared their stories. I felt really compelled to give back and share as much of my experience as possible to help others on their journey. Please understand that this topic is just too big for one video alone. So today's video is going to be talking a little bit about, my history, my issues, pre-surgery prep, the surgery itself, and 1 week post-op. I'm going to be sharing at the end of this video how much tissue they removed, because I know that's a big question that a lot of people have, like if they're going to go through this surgery, how much can they actually take off? So be sure to watch the end. Also, if you have any questions that I didn't address in this video, be sure to leave it in a comment down below so I can be sure to address it in video part 2. Without further ado, let's get started. So I am somebody who always had big breasts. It's really uncomfortable. Like, you don't want it to be a characteristic or personality trait. I have always had big boobs. By the time I was 13 in like the 8th grade, I had a C cup. By the time I was in college, I was an F cup. And now in my 30s, pre-surgery, I was a J cup. And it seemed that they just kept growing with no sign of ever stopping, and no sign of ever stopping dropping. So I not only had massive, dense tissue, like super fatty, super heavy breasts, they also dropped significantly. They were past my elbow and on their way to my belly button. I'm a pretty healthy person. I work out 3 to 5 days a week, doing HIIT exercise, spin, yoga, all that kind of stuff. The women on my mother's father's side of the family tend to all have really big breasts. So I think that was just hereditarily passed down to me. I didn't want it, but thank you, ancestors. They became a nuisance real quick. I would say mid to late 20s, I was already done with them. I was done with the uncomfortableness, the difficulty fitting in clothes. I had an incident a couple years ago at the county fair where I went on the swings, the county fair ride, the swings. As we were loading into the ride, I reached down in my seat and go to attach the metal buckle, and my boobs are too big. So I literally have to lift up my boobs and clip it underneath. I see like people my age that are just laughing to themselves, and it's really humiliating. It's not a good feeling. As a full-time blogger, I have to pass on a lot of campaigns because I just honestly don't fit the clothes. I've also been dropped from campaigns because I can't fit the clothes. It's just not a good feeling. I would say my late 20s was when I really started to get the noticeable back pain. I used to walk to and from work like a mile and a half, and I would have to sit down and take a break halfway through because I would have that like stabbing sore pain in my scapula. I told my primary care doctor that I was suffering from back pain, and it was very acute and also very chronic. I could pinpoint it down to my lower left shoulder blade and like a acute stabbing pain. At that time, it would really only start after I'd been standing a few hours during the day, so maybe would kick in the afternoon. Wouldn't really happen when I was laying down or didn't have a bra on, but definitely in the afternoon and walking anytime I was upright, I would have that acute stabbing pain. I would say for the last 2 years consistently, it has been a stabbing pain from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep at night. So all day long, just imagine. So I was begging her, I was like, I think I need a breast reduction. I don't think I'm gonna lose the boobs by working out, and this pain seems to be getting worse the older I get, despite having a very active, healthy lifestyle. So we started talking about what it would take to get there. And I always knew I wanted to go the insurance route. So that's what we did. Basically, she gave me a list of plastic surgeons she referred me to, and I can go into depth more on this whole process in a future video because it's pretty complicated, and I can only speak to my experience in California, in the United States, and in the Bay Area where things are just really, really outrageously expensive. But she also had sent me to physical therapy, and I would go to physical therapy once or twice a week, and I would have a physical therapist work on my back. I had a really great team there. I was a little like skeptical of it at first, but they were able to quickly tell the cause of my pain and where exactly it was happening, and we did like lots of different exercises and cupping therapy and other things we could do to like temporarily give relief to the area. I could talk again more about PT in the upcoming video, but that was a really good experience, and they were able to tell right away that my lower scapula and my back muscles were so weak from supporting the weight of my breasts that basically I had to work on my back muscles, and I couldn't because they were so weak from lifting up the weight. I was also trying acupuncture outside of what my doctor recommended to help alleviate some of the back pain and the neck pain. I'm gonna have an acupuncture video coming very soon. I also had a lot of asymmetry. So on the left breast, I was 2 cup sizes larger than on the right. Obviously lots of complications with that, and that was a clear correlation between the left side being significantly larger than the right and the pain on my back being significantly concentrated on the left side of the body. I'm gonna link also my Instagram story highlights down below. I have part 1 and part 2 of this whole breast reduction experience. Please catch up there if you wanna see my posts throughout the last year. The last year was really a runaround of referrals, consultations, and approvals. I got denied 4 times, and on the 5th time I got the surgery. So again, something I can explain at more length in a future video, but just know that the referrals, the consults, and approvals are a really difficult period if you're trying to do this through insurance. And obviously if you have the means to pay out of pocket for the surgery, you do you. Since it was so clear to me why I was having this back pain was because of exorbitantly large breasts, it just had to go through insurance. The average cost of this procedure in the San Francisco Bay Area, from the various places I probably called about a dozen places to get pricing and insurance requirements and that sort of thing. The average price was about $13,500 to $15,000 on the upper end. So expect to pay that much, and that's not including your time off of work, extra costs for medications, and other kind of quality of life things you might need during the surgery. And I'm a blogger and I don't get disability leave and PTO, so if you're a freelancer or a blogger, I feel you. It's really hard to take time off work. So I actually haven't filmed videos in about 2.5 weeks because I had pre-scheduled videos while I was out for the surgery. So I had my last consultation in December, right around the holidays, and that actually caused some issues with insurance checking their fax machine to get all my paperwork. I can go into that in a future video again as well. Had been denied so many times that it was like a mind game. I didn't feel worthy of it. This has just been like the hugest emotional roller coaster of my life. So let's talk about surgery. So once I was approved for surgery, we set a surgery date. We also set my first week post-op so I wouldn't have to scramble and figure that out. Since my weight was just a little bit above normal or average BMI, I decided to go on a little bit of a diet with the goal of weight loss because my surgeon told me if I could lose a little extra weight, we could actually go down to a smaller cup size. So that was really important to me. If I was gonna go through all the emotional and physical trauma of having this surgery, I want them to remove as much as possible to make it worth my time. We had scheduled my surgery for end of February, so I knew that after the holiday season and after the fancy food show, I'll link my video up above, I went on a low carb diet. So for about January through February, I was on a low carb diet, you know, just kind of making healthier choices, and the weight came off. I lost 12 pounds in about 6 weeks, so that was really encouraging. Fast forward to surgery day, I told my surgeon that they weighed me in, and since I had lost the 12 pounds, the lowest possible cup size I could go from was a D down to a C, a full C. So I'm still healing, obviously. I haven't tried on new bras, but more to come on that. So definitely, if you can lose weight before your surgery, that's gonna give you a better outcome. And also further down the road when you are recovering, that's going to help prevent the risk of your results sagging. If you gain weight after the surgery, you run the risk of your breasts growing again and also sagging. So I definitely didn't want that. Another thing I did for surgery prep, you know, just like in the months and weeks leading up to surgery, I did a ton of housework. I made sure to vacuum, Swiffer, clean all the surfaces, do all my laundry, and line up all my outfits for post-surgery, because when you come out of surgery, you're gonna be bandaged up. You may or may not have drains. I had drains, and your mobility is very, very impaired. So you need to have like comfy sweats to put on and things that zip up in the front because you're not gonna be able to lift your arms very high. So I knew all that going into it. I also did a lot of reading on the reduction subreddit, so I will link that down below. That is like a wealth of information. You can read through a lot of different people's experiences and, you know, get as much information as you can pre-surgery. Also, I checked in with my family and friends to kind of see what their schedule would be so I could have help around the house, cooking meals, emptying the dishwasher, helping with laundry, helping with like tracking my medications and that kind of thing, because I was in a brain fog for a lot of it. So you definitely need to lean on your friends and family and kind of get a schedule going. And absolutely, if you have kids or pets, you need to have a game plan ahead of time because you won't be able to use your arms, lift things, or care for anything else during that time. So that's super important. I think I'm gonna do a blog post on like what was in my hospital bag and some of my surgery prep in terms of clothing, beauty products, and stuff like that. So definitely let me know if you'd like to see that. Right now we are 1 week and 2 days post-surgery, and my skin, last week I used a lot of like makeup wipes and kind of like lazy girl skincare. This week is all about the treatments and getting myself back in action because I have a lot of bumps on my skin and my skin's really important to me. So yeah, I'm really excited to get back to my like everyday routine, and I'm actually really happy to be filming today because it makes me feel a lot more productive and human again. So surgery day, I had a Monday morning surgery bright and early. Had to check in at 6 a.m. for a surgery time of 7:30. Do the paperwork, You get in your robe, get in your socks, you pee in a cup, they make you do a pregnancy test, of course. They get your IV going, and then they start the anesthesia, wheel you into the room. And the last thing I remember is them putting the compression garments on my legs and putting the mask over my face, and that was it. This is a major surgery. My surgery was 5 hours. So this is very, very different than a breast augmentation or a typical boob job or even an explant surgery. I know a lot of my friends and family had questions. They're like, wait, what? They didn't really understand the invasiveness and full-on-ness of this surgery. Breast reduction surgery is a full-on reconstruction surgery. So they are shrinking the nipple and they are removing the excess fat and tissue below the nipple, and then they're kind of lifting everything up and then they're stitching it back up. It's a very full-on procedure, so some other people's reduction surgeries have been 3 hours. Mine was 5. I don't really care. Everybody took really great care of me at the hospital. When I did wake up from surgery, I was in a little bit of pain, so they added some pretty heavy duty narcotics to my IV, and then I slept for another 3 or 4 hours. And by the end of the day, I was able to text again. My boyfriend came. And also with the help of the nurses, I was able to get up and use the restroom and kind of walk around, but I was very, very fragile and very weak. So I don't want to sugarcoat it. It's a major surgery, so be prepared for some scary moments. But just know that, I mean, especially with my surgeon, I know she's done hundreds, if not thousands of these surgeries in her long, long career. So it's really important that you trust your surgeon and surgical team 1000% before going into this. So with my surgery, I had drains, which I had to wear for 1 week, and a compression bandage. And I also stayed over 1 night in the hospital. So my surgery was a Monday morning. I stayed over, then I was discharged around noon the next day. So you need to make sure that you have your comfy clothes to get back into. Make sure you're drinking tons of water. At UCSF, they have a really good room service menu, and you can pretty much order anything under the sun. Really healthy food options too. And I made sure just to drink tons of water, eat lots of fresh fruits and veggies. I had steamed veggies, lean chicken, green tea, string cheese, all my favorite foods that I like to eat at home, and I was still able to keep it low carb, so that was great. Based on your surgeon, you'll have a medication kind of repertoire. I was prescribed Norco, which again is a very heavy narcotic. It's like a Vicodin kind of thing, I think, and it makes you really constipated. So I had it in the hospital, and I also took it home, but I didn't really end up using much of it because I didn't like the brain fog it was putting me in. So then I came home, and I pretty much laid low for the last week. Because the bandages are wrapped so tight, it's really hard to do much, and you obviously don't want to compromise anything happening under the bandages. So it's best to chill out, don't lift anything, have your friends and family help you as much as they can. And I literally just used last week to catch up on Netflix. Make sure you have a little station set up next to your bed or maybe next to the couch where you're gonna be with your hand sanitizer, tissues, your phone chargers, your magazines, or whatever you have, lip balm, hand cream, all my favorite things. I'm happy to do a blog post on all my essential products that I really loved using post-op. The drains are really, really uncomfortable. Again, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They are drains that come out of your sides, collecting any excess fluid, which is blood, plasma, that kind of stuff. And it's really freaky to look at. So if you can have your friends or family help you, the nurses will show you in the hospital how to strip the tubes so that blood clots don't form in the tubes and the drainage. It really sucks, but honestly, I got my drains out yesterday and I feel great. So it's temporary discomfort. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. That's all I can say about that. A couple days into wearing the bandages at home, I started getting little tingly, nerve ending sensations. It was my body internally trying to reconcile what just happened. Where are we? My nerves finding their new homes. But yeah, when I came home, I just basically cycled in between Advil and Tylenol Extra Strength as my nurses recommended. And I basically didn't really use the Norco at all because I just didn't like the brain fog and I didn't like the constipation. So I would say I took 1 Norco, but we cut it in half. I think I took one day and then 1 the next day. I would say 4 or 5 days into wearing the bandage, it became really itchy. This was the second most uncomfortable thing next to the drains. If you have drains, you need to be really, really careful with them and make sure you're always washing your hands or freshly sanitized hands are touching them because you don't want to run the risk of an infection. Because the drains and the tubes, they would get caught when I go to the bathroom and trying to pull my pants down, or caught when you sit the wrong way in the bed or on the couch. So that tugging where your, stitches are is really uncomfortable, and you need to be really, really careful. The itchy bandages were the second worst thing about this. And I have issues, I've talked about this with my eczema, sometimes in my sleep I tend to scratch. It's a subconscious thing that I just cannot control. And it's really terrible because when I had the bandages on, obviously I don't want to scratch or rub, or if I had to wear the bandages a few more days, I'm not sure I could have made it, but I made it. And as soon as they were cut off, I was able to get some relief on my back because I was just so itchy. Couple just random notes. Fentanyl's crazy. there is literally no doubt in my mind why it should be illegal, and it is super deadly. They actually ended up giving me fentanyl and Dilaudid when I woke up from surgery because I was in so much pain. So I don't know, if one little speck of that and I was out like a light. So now I know. Another tip I have when you're, coming in surgery day is make sure you get your IV in your non-dominant hand, because when you wake up from surgery, you're gonna want to like pull your hair out of your face and put your glasses on, text on your phone, and it would just be a lot harder if you had it in your dominant hand. So in my case, my dominant hand is my right. I had the IV in my left, and I didn't ask for it, but it just ended up happening that way. But that's really important now that I'm looking back. Bring some skincare with you to the hospital. So I packed a skincare bag and then a bag of snacks, and of course like clean changes of clothes. It's not just the skincare like aspect of it, it's the ritual aspect of it. Because when you wake up from surgery and like you're feeling like you just got hit by a truck and you're just feeling disgusting, being able to like mist your face with some toner or apply hand cream or cuticle oil. Like I shared my hospital bag on Instagram stories and people were like, cuticle oil? Really? You think you're gonna need that in the hospital? I used it like 4 times. So yeah, pack skincare for the ritual of skincare, because it's gonna make you feel a lot more human, not only for the benefits of your skincare, but like the emotional benefits of having that beauty ritual like before you go to bed. Definitely bring an eye mask. My hospital provided eye mask, toothpaste, toothbrush, but I brought my own because I have like a really nice silky one that came with like a set of satin pillowcases. I got it like Ross or TJ Maxx. Bring an eye mask because the nurses are going to be in and out of your room, and the light you can't really control all the time since you're in the hospital bed. Drink as much water as you can. I had no problem guzzling water after surgery. Don't be shy to like press the nurse call button to have them come bring you like ice water. My hospital gave it to me like by the pitcher, so I was able to drink a lot at a time. I was too weak to lift the pitcher, but if you can have somebody help pour it for you every time there's somebody in the room, that's great. And like for my surgery recovery particularly, they were in every 4 hours to empty my drains and check on me pain-wise. So again, that mask came in handy because they're coming in every 4 hours. Green tea was also delicious. So make sure like every time you have food coming or somebody coming in, maybe even bring some tea bags with you. At first it was hard to differentiate the tingles versus the itch, like the internal tingles from the nerves and then the external itch from my skin. And try to keep yourself occupied with other things, whether you're like writing or reading or watching TV or doing something with your hands, like maybe painting your nails or something like that. Day 7 of having the bandages on, so I think this was one day before I had to go get the bandages taken off, I took a really, really shallow bath. You're not supposed to bathe or submerge your bandages or get them wet at all. I just like filled a really, 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 really shallow bathtub. It got into the point where like you sit down and it's like barely crossing your crotch. So there's no chance of getting your bandages or your drains wet. So that really helped me feel a lot more human again. My legs were just looking so dry and pale and flaky that I needed to take a bath, and I put tons of my favorite products in there. And it just felt so good to even be clean from the waist down. Of course, I had baby wipes for everywhere else to help me sponge bathe and like wet washcloths to like clean my face and around my neck. Having your clothes prepared in advance is so helpful. So basically I had like a big plastic bin in my closet with all my like surgery approved clothes, so that way I had quick things to reach from and you wouldn't have to be digging through bins or shelves, and you really shouldn't be using your arms much after surgery anyways. So that's really helpful for your friends and family who are helping you out. You could just say, oh, pick something from the bin. Those clothes are all good to go. So like your favorite fuzzy socks, maybe loose comfy sweats or pajama pants, and things that zip up like this Uniqlo Airism jacket I'm wearing today, because you're not gonna be able to put things over your head. And still, I'm like 1.5 weeks post-op almost, and I'm still not putting things over my head because I'm just so weak. And I don't wanna like bust a stitch. That's really scary and really dangerous. Hair is difficult, so I got like a significant chop on my hair before this surgery because I knew my hair was gonna be a rat's nest, and just shorter hair on me is just generally less tangly and less of a pain. It got really, really greasy, like greasy to the point where it felt wet. So I had to teach my boyfriend how to use dry shampoo. We did like 2 thorough dry shampoos spaced out during the week, and I still had the greasiest hair ever. It was a challenge. So if you can like French braid your hair before surgery or have somebody come over who knows how to do hair, that is great. Yesterday when I got my bandages off, my surgeon said I could shower and I could, as long as I'm not submerging the stitches and the wounds, I could still shower as long as the water is running right off. I was just so weak, it was really hard to like get a thorough cleanse on my scalp. And I feel like today I even have like really, really flaky dandruff. So this week, ideally, I would like to go to like a local salon and get like a salon blowout so they can really cleanse my hair and scalp thoroughly. And I also want to get a mani-pedi, and I also want to get like some full body sugaring because the body hair, man, the body hair is out of control. And my body's still a little stiff and I'm just really, really weak. So shaving is just something that I'm not ready to do again. So I'm going to be putting that off for as long as possible. Honestly, getting the bandages and the drains removed are such a relief. So if you're in this process right now and you're watching this video, like hang in there, you're almost there. It gets easier and you feel like you can resume to normal everyday life after you get that off. The bandages are truly a compression garment, so you can't really move a whole lot. It's hard to breathe, it's hard to sneeze. It's just not very comfortable. I also had a ton of adhesive on my body from the nurses, post-surgery. So make sure if you have any like weird adhesive or stuff on your body, tell them in post-op so they can help you remove that because they have a special solution to remove that off your body. I'm feeling so light and so free. It brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it. I'm also like, getting teary. I immediately feel less weight lifted off my body. It's weird. Like I still walk around my hunchback because that is just like my general protective posture. And I was walking still kind of like hunched over with the bandages on because they were so tight and compressive. But now that I'm free, I can actually correct my posture more easily, and it's going to elongate my neck, hopefully minimize my double chin, and just help me like stand taller, more confident, and that kind of thing. So that's like the next phase of this, is to really figure out and correct my posture because my back pain's gone. Like it's gone. Like I don't have that stabbing acute pain anymore because the weight has been lifted. So that's what I'm gonna be working on moving forward, is like just correcting my posture and those quick little things I can do. Obviously it's gonna be hard while I'm still healing because I'm very, very tender and sensitive in some areas, but that is like the next thing on my to-do list. I'm so happy and relieved. Already I know it's like the best decision of my life. So if you're thinking about doing this and you've thought about it, like my quality of life is already improved. I'm trying to like take it easy for like the next few weeks and months, so I have a really good outcome with the scars. So I'm not trying to like jump back into fitness or driving or anything like that right away. I'm taking my sweet time so my body can heal. Just to recap, I am 5'7", 32 years old, and my before breast size, 32H was my right side because that's the one that fit, and then the 32J was the left size. So I always wore the H bra because that was honestly the biggest one I could find. The J side would always be spilling out in all three dimensions, below, on the side, and above. In terms of breast size and drop, I was measured pre-surgery. The drop between the bottom of my breast and where they ended was 12 centimeters, and it was 10 centimeters the last time we had measured it in December. So my breast had dropped 2 centimeters in 2 months, which is horrific. Like I said before, my boobs had no sign of ever slowing the growth and the drop. So this surgery was 100% medically necessary. I had a really good case for insurance. So again, I can go into other videos of why I was denied surgery so many times in the past. So yesterday during my post-op, I was able to ask how much tissue was removed. Of course, they send off the tissue that's removed to pathology just to be sure everything was benign and just normal. Especially if you're going through insurance, they may or may not have requirements about how much tissue they have to remove at a minimum or a maximum. I was shocked. It was more than I thought. I thought maybe total it would be 1 kilogram. On the right side where I'm smaller, 574 grams of tissue was removed. And on the left side where I'm larger, 738 grams were removed. So that brings us to a total of 1.312 kilograms. So almost 1 1/3 kilograms, which is about equal to like 2.9, almost 3 pounds. Since I'm no longer wearing the compression garment, I think I will swell up a little bit more and then eventually go down. I definitely want to do another post-op update within the next month to let you know how things are going, and of course to address any of the comments and questions down below. So in summary, this has already been the best decision of my life, and I really hope this video can help you out if you're struggling out there with back pain or just like constant quality of life issues as a result of big breasts. It's really disheartening that a lot of insurance companies see big breasts and breast reduction as a cosmetic procedure because, a larger issue with societal norms is that having big breasts is a desirable look. Therefore, breast reduction is considered a cosmetic surgery. No. Whoever said that has never struggled and never had to live with the realities that a lot of women do. So that's my 2 cents on that. You're going through all the drama of referrals and appointments and consults and appeals. I feel you, girl. Hang in there. And if you get denied again, try again. That's all I gotta say about that. Please be sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss the next video in this series. I'm really excited to share my experience and help at least one of you out there that might be going through the same things that I was going through most of my life. So again, be sure to follow me on Instagram as well. Leave a comment, hit the video with a thumbs up if you found this helpful, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.